My sister, Veronica, is the villainess, my brother, Roderick, is the unhinged antagonist, and I'm the seemingly innocent little sister they raised, the one they pulled from the wreckage of our parents' lives. We are characters trapped in the ink and paper of a novel, and I'm the only one who knows how it ends. Badly. My job is to derail the plot. From the moment I could form a coherent thought, I knew I was living inside a tragic romance, a world that revolved around a destined hero and heroine. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of them. I was born on the wrong side of the narrative. Before I was 6 months old, my parents were dead. I was raised by my older siblings, cradled in their arms, shielded by their shadows. It wasn't until my 10th birthday, when I truly began to understand the words I was reading, that the full picture snapped into focus. The beautiful, fiery woman who lost her temper trying to teach me long division, my sister, Veronica, was the story's primary villainess, the scheming rival, and the man who indulged my every whim, who looked at me as if I were the only light in his world. My brother, Roderick, was the final boss, the story's unhinged, all-powerful antagonist. The hero and heroine are the center of this universe. Anyone who opposes them is destined for a grim fate. On my 10th birthday, they sat on either side of me, Veronica, impossibly lovely, holding the cake, Roderick, devastatingly handsome, lighting the candles. In their eyes, I saw only my own reflection. No matter how cruel or vicious they were to the outside world, to me, they were everything. They were the only two people on earth who loved me without condition. I refused to let them meet their pre-written, tragic end. I would save them. I had to, but I wasn't blessed with their gifts. It was as if our parents had bequeathed all their brilliance to my siblings, leaving none for me. Roderick, while still a teenager, had built a business empire from nothing, solving our family's financial ruin and providing us with a life of unimaginable luxury. He moved through the world with a chilling, predatory grace. Veronica was a master of social warfare. Her beauty was a weapon, and she wielded it with surgical precision, gathering a clique of devoted followers who would do anything for her. But their genius was also their fatal flaw. Roderick became obsessed with the heroine, a woman who would never be his, and Veronica fell for the hero, a man who would never love her back. I sighed, my cheek pressed against the cool leather of my sister's sports car. Veronica took one hand off the wheel to mess up my hair. What is it now? Did your math homework spontaneously combust again? I turned to face her, my expression serious. He's not as handsome as Roderick, and he's definitely not as rich as you. What do you even see in Elliot Marsden? Elliot Marsden, the hero of our story. A faint, dangerous spark lit up in my sister's eyes at the mention of his name. She pinched my cheek. Worried about me, are we? She said. Maybe you should worry about your own grades first. The number of parent counselor meetings I've had to attend for you this month is a new record. I'm getting more FaceTime with your guidance counselor than I do with my own therapist. Before I could protest, she spun the wheel, the tire screaming against the pavement. I'm busy tonight, can't help you with your homework, she said. I'm dropping you at Roderick's office. I hugged my backpack tighter, my gaze falling to my lap. I knew what she was busy with. Her network of informants was vast. They'd known the heroine, Claire Meadows, was back in the country before she'd even unpacked. The hero's one true love had returned, and tonight, my sister was going to a party to welcome her home. With a show of force, I let out another heavy sigh, leaning my head against the window. The car executed a flawless 180 and screeched to a halt in front of the monolithic glass tower that housed the Donnelly Group. Veronica got out, opening my door. She saw me sitting there, frozen, and a rare, genuine smile touched her lips. Daydreaming again, Willowflower, she murmured, scratching me under the chin like a cat. She pulled me out of the car, slinging my backpack over my shoulders. Come on, I'll take you up. She put a hand on my back. I hesitated, then shook my head. I can find it. You should go, I said, looking up at the stunning red slip dress she wore. She was a work of art, a goddess of vengeance and silk. How could Elliot Marsden not see it? She was in a hurry. The sky was already bruising into twilight. She smoothed the collar of my school uniform, her expression softening. All right, I'm going. Go straight up to Roderick. Make him order you dinner. I nodded, standing on the curb as she got back in her car and sped away, looking back at me twice, before she disappeared around the corner. The second her taillights vanished, I used the high-end car service app on my phone. I gave the driver the address of the Empyrean Hotel and a simple instruction. Follow that car, the one that just left. As the car pulled away from the curb, a movement at the entrance of the Donnelly Group building caught my eye. It was Roderick, his suit jacket slung casually over one shoulder. Emerging from the revolving doors, a handful of executives scurried behind him, nodding and bowing like supplicants before a king. Roderick's face was a mask of cold indifference, his features sharp and unforgiving. He exuded an aura that screamed, do not approach. He was terrifyingly perceptive. He must have felt my gaze, because his head began to turn in my direction. I dropped down in my seat instantly, my heart hammering against my ribs. A moment later, my phone vibrated in my pocket. A text from Roderick. Asterisk kiddo, where are you? Veronica said she was dropping you off. Asterisk followed by another. What do you want for dinner? I switched my phone off, feigning ignorance. Right now, my sister was the priority. Roderick had taught Veronica how to drive. In their late teens, they were regulars on the illegal street racing circuit. When I wasn't in the car, they drove with a reckless, untamed ferocity, even with me urging the driver on. Veronica's sports car left us in the dust. By the time I arrived at the Empyrean Hotel, the party was in full swing, light spilling from its grand windows. A security guard at the door stopped me. No invitation, no entry. My mind raced with images of Veronica cornering Claire, of words like venom and smiles like knives. I couldn't let that happen. I had no choice. I had to use the one name that could open any door in this city. Roderick had always told me I could walk anywhere I wanted, as if I owned the place. He also happened to own a significant stake in this hotel. I mentioned my brother's name. The hotel manager himself came out, wiping sweat from his brow, bowing obsequiously. I had no time for pleasantries. I ran into the grand ballroom, my backpack bouncing against my shoulders, and stood on my toes, searching for a flash of red. It was a curse, really. Roderick was nearly 6'2", and Veronica was a statuesque 5'9". I, on the other hand, had yet to break 5'5". But my sister was always the center of gravity in any room. I scanned the mezzanine level and found her instantly. me. There she was, a slash of crimson against the muted tones of the party, leaning against the ornate railing. A slim black vanilla-flavored cigarette was pinched between her fingers, a glass of red wine in her hand. She was surrounded by her clique, a pack of beautiful, dangerous people, and in the center of their circle, trapped, was a young woman in a simple white dress. Her features were delicate, her aura gentle. Even from a distance, I knew that was Claire Meadows, the heroine. I didn't hesitate. I took the stairs 2 at a time, my breath catching in my chest. The closer I got, the more I could hear the sneers, the mocking laughter. Veronica hadn't said a word, but a malicious, satisfied smile played on her lips. She was the perfect picture of a beautiful, cruel villainess. I burst through the circle, and before anyone could react, I pulled the bright pink disciplinary referral slip from my backpack and slapped it against her chest. Ronnie, I gasped, my voice shaky from exertion. My counselor called. He said you have to come in for a mandatory parent-counselor meeting tomorrow. Veronica flinched, startled. The wine glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the marble floor, but she reacted with a speed that was almost inhuman. In the split second it took for the glass to fall, she had already scooped me up by my armpits, lifting me clear of the glittering shards. I instinctively wrapped my arms around her neck and my legs around her waist, clinging to her. In front of everyone, I repeated, my voice loud and clear. He said if you don't show, I'll get a suspension. I felt a muscle twitch in her jaw. The wicked smile was gone, replaced by a look of sheer disbelief. The cigarette dangling from her lips trembled. The oppressive atmosphere shattered. Even Claire Meadows, the intended victim, looked up at me with wide, confused eyes. I buried my face in my sister's shoulder, but not before I peeked out and gave Claire a small, apologetic smile. Please, I prayed, please don't hold this against my sister. The moment I appeared, I became Veronica's entire focus. She saw my smile to Claire, her beautiful, sharp eyes narrowed. Willow Donnelly, she said, her voice a low warning. I plucked the cigarette from her lips. Before she could scold me, I faked a small cough. It's smoky, I said, my voice muffled against her dress. Her cleat, ever perceptive, sprang into action. Someone appeared with an ashtray, another with a glass of water. Veronica stubbed out the cigarette and handed me the water. I sat there, cradled in her arms like a child, sipping my water and